everyone. I'm super excited to welcome you all to a brand new podcast, Let's Talk Shop. In this podcast, we shall talk to industry leaders and experts who have broken norms and created a name for themselves. My name is Shreya and I shall be your host for this episode. And for our first guest, we are glad to have on board Ms. Azmeena Poder, Regional Director, Design Studios, Asia Pacific and Middle East, Boston Consulting Group. Azmeena ma'am, thank you so much for joining us today. We know you have a flight to catch, so we'll keep it a brief session.
Thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure to have talking to you guys over this.
So, ma'am, my first question to you will be that you have been in various fields of the design. So, how has your journey been till now?
Oh, it's always been fun and it's always been new. I would say I'm always discovering new things.
And ma'am, I would really like to know that what are the difficulties you have always faced in this industry?
So the only thing which I keep saying is being more relevant to what's around you. You want to probably understand how the world is changing and how you want to change yourself. Yeah. If you keep understanding, okay, the technology is changing, I need to learn technology, please go out there and learn. Because you were forced to do it, right? Keep changing yourself and keep learning, and you'll probably definitely get your heights out there.
That's a great advice, ma'am. I'm an aspiring designer. I really want to know that youngsters like me who are really looking up to you, people like you, what will be the advice that you would provide to us?
I would say never get bogged down with designations and salaries. Keep your journey on what am I contributing to the world, how am I making a difference, and how am I evolving?
That's great to hear, ma'am. The next thing, ma'am, I would like to ask is how do you place learnings with education probably?
These are two different things. Education is more about getting that certification and probably learning through peers, and learning in itself is an evolving thing. You learn every day. So learning is something which is constant, which is what the human mind does. But education is something, okay, I have arrived at some things, I have probably attained a degree, I've got an alumni, I've created a network. So for me, an educational institution is more about networking and learning from peers and collaborating. It has nothing to do with learning, to be very honest. Learning is something which you do constantly in your life.
So ma'am, right now I am also working on a brand project and I would really like to know that how do you come up, because I am facing personally very difficulties in creating a logo or even establishing what I am thinking. Probably I'm not able to put it on paper. So how can I do that?
I would say research and research. Branding is all about understanding your audience, understanding your market, and then crafting that story. So a logo is a very tiny thing of it, but the entire story which you weave around it is very, very important. So absolutely first in the branding world, if you don't do your research, you will get 5 others who are looking like you. So the idea is to craft a different story each time you're doing branding and make it unique and relevant for the target audience.
My next question is definitely on this, that how do you choose your target audience? That I am facing this difficulty that I'm not able to.
It depends on what you're branding for, right? So like today, like just a story like say Netflix, it's not reaching out to everybody in the villages, Yes. Star Plus is probably reaching out to people in the villages, right? So I would say it's probably only catering to a certain niche audience. So you want to identify your product, how relevant it is for that particular audience. And basis on that, you want to craft your story. So every branding thing has to become aspirational also. Otherwise, why will I go out there and buy it, or why do I relate to it?
Sure.
Right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for this. Was really insightful for me as I'm working on a project right now. My next question to you will be, ma'am, that when you create a story around a brand, that how do you start? What is the starting that we need, that spark?
You should believe in it first.
That's
okay.
True.
If you don't believe in it, you'll probably start grappling for ideas. You have to be convinced about the product or the story or the brand or whatever you're doing. If you're really convinced about, I want to tell this story, then you'll absolutely make sure you'll tell that story, right? So it's conviction.
This was indeed a very insightful episode. I hope it helped you as much as it helped me as a designer. For more of these episodes, make sure you follow Chitkara Design School. Until then, this is me, Shreya, signing off.